corporeal plane, dream crimes are considered particularly heinous. We are the brave private detectives who investigate these dream crimes and endeavor to bring dream criminals to justice.
Justice!
I was the chief of the SFPD for 15 years before I had to turn in my gun and badge in order to accurately and adequately pursue the dream crimes of the SFPD. Among many other crimes, mostly committed by the officers of the SFPD, they do not care about. I'm joined here today by the most notorious dream criminal of all time, the last criminal I ever brought in, and who I had some beef with, but I believe it's now been rolled over for now. Molly, thank you for joining us, and thank you so much for taking me out to party all night with some dream drugs.
How do you feel, Emily Pineapple?
I have a lot of memories of shouting at the top of my lungs about the many crimes of the SFPD and injustices they've committed. My voice hurts very badly now.
You'll have that, when meatbags come to party in the dream realm, sometimes you'll get a little worse symptoms afterwards. I personally, after my last party, I was feeling pretty bad, but now I feel very fresh, very loose. I'm just happy that we're back on the same page together, and I'm happy to be here. I joined forces with you after I was trying to take down Dream Hitler, and you're the most skilled police officer I've ever met, and I think we made one hell of a team, and we're really gonna get it fucking together. You know what I mean?
I'm inclined to agree. I'm heavily inclined to agree. This is Dreamcat.
Hello, Dreamcat.
Hi, Dreamcat.
I found Dreamcat last night when I was wandering home in the dream realm on a lot of dream drugs, thinking about the many injustices committed by the SFPD.
He's beautiful.
Very pretty.
We're also joined today by the time child, Andrew.
Hi.
Andrew, tell us, how are the harmonies coming from the dream world today? Andrew, of course, can sense the harmoniousness of the dream realm through his music.
Well, I did briefly join you guys for that drug bender last night, dream drug bender.
Of course, there is no age limit on who can take drugs in the dream realm.
Right.
True, it rips so hardcore.
So my perception of harmony is a bit distorted today, but I think I basically get the sense that it's a somewhat clouded day harmonically, but not terrifying.
No, not terrifying. Not like the many injustices of the SFPD.
Yes, not like that.
Reflecting on those have really put this whole team into a new light, and the whole mission that we have here, the whole reason I turned in my gun and badge to pursue dream crimes. If anyone listening today feels that there's a dream that they would like to share with us, or perhaps a lack of dreams that they would like to share with us, I would like to invite you to call in. The dream realm is based primarily on intuition, and that which you intuitively believe must be shared is what must be shared. For in the dream realm, correlation does equal causation. And so if you have a dream you would like to share with us, I urge you to call in now.
With or without video.
With or without video. We don't need to see you in order to interpret if a crime has happened in your dreams. In fact, the appearance of Dreamcat last night and today suggests to me that something very important is on the horizon. it suggests to me that because, of course, correlation does equal causation, the correlation of Dreamcat appearing, of Zalagar appearing, of our conflict and then reunification over dream drugs, the loss of my voice. All of this suggests to me that there is something going on in the dream realm. Something big.
I hate to break the fourth wall, but Forrest, it seems as though our caller can't hear any of us, and I'm wondering if that's going on Twitch as well.
Yes,
Did 15 minutes of show.
Police dispatcher Forrest, of course my producer. He was one of the IT guys at the SFPD, and I took him with us because he also recognized the many injustices of the SFPD. And I keep him behind a fourth wall, so I appreciate you not wanting to break that, Molly, but it's okay. I think that at this point he doesn't want to escape anymore, so...
I just wanted to try to keep him as anonymous as possible.
That's fair. I do use a coded name with him.
Yes, there's nobody in the chat room.
There's no one in the chat room right now. It's unlikely that anyone can hear us.
I was hearing the Twitch stream a minute ago.
Yeah, I believe that Forrest can in fact hear us and does in fact see humans in the chat room. Not to discredit you, Molly. Oh my. Oh, those dream drugs. Ooh. Oh, I haven't partied this hard since the SFPD raided that rave. And then we all did their drugs. Oof. Partied in the cells. All right, dears. Is there anything that you all can sense from the dream realm? Something interesting about dream drugs is that while other drugs will change your perspective, change and confuse the inputs coming from the phenomenological world to one's mind, in the dream realm, dream drugs actually, they undistort. Everything we take in is distorted. Everything is translated from things in the corporeal realm, from physical objects. Our eyes are recording the light. Our eyes send our signals to the back of the brain. It actually comes in upside down. That puts it right side up. Turns everything into electrical signals, which then turn back into our idea of perception. Dream drugs actually act like a static electricity reducer on those electrical signals, and you would think, oh, I can't perceive anything, right? Because the signals are what make up my perception, and now that those have been dampened, I shouldn't see anything, right? No. The electricity actually gets in the way with a different, perhaps more ideal perception. It all comes down to the Platonic ideal, these archetypes.
Which dimension of a reality do those Platonic ideals reside in again? I'm forgetting the fourth, right?
Yeah,
okay.
That's the fourth. And when we take dream drugs, we're able to see the world for what it is, which is those archetypes overlaid with windows of perception. Aldous Huxley opened the doors of perception. I would suggest that we should lift the window of perception and stick our heads out. Take a deep breath.
Good old Aldous.
Good old Aldous. He lives in the dream realm now, right?
Yeah, I run into him once in a while. In fact, he's my primary supplier of dream drugs.
He has good shit.
His are kind of more old school. It's very heady, It's all up in the neurons, dream neurons. But that stuff last night, it was way more full body. It was a very unique experience. So thanks again for supplying, pals.
Oh, you're welcome.
Now I think everyone's gonna think we actually did do drugs last night.
I do believe that Molly is trying to speak with us, and we are unable to hear her.
Is that so?
It could be the dream drugs.
I do see that you're muted. Well, I guess.
Do we need to call you?
I am unmuted now.
Okay.
Oh,
because I was testing out the stream. Sorry, Pineapple, I was trying to interrupt you because we have a caller on the line.
We have a caller on the line. Oh my goodness.
Who do we have today?
Welcome, caller. Thank you so much.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Dream Police.
Hi, thank you for having me.
And what should we call you, caller?
Susie.
Welcome, Susie.
Hi, Susie.
Hi.
Did you have a dream last night? Oh, dream dog, do not start with me.
Or perhaps another dream from another time that you feel in your heart must be shared today?
I did have a dream. Do I go into my dream?
Absolutely.
Go for it.
As long as you feel
Wonderful.
comfortable.
So in my dream, I was at my grandparents' house.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there with my family, and a ghost appeared. It was a little girl ghost. It was the ghost of a girl who had fallen off the roof of the house and died. To note, this is a one-story house, so I'm not quite sure how that worked. But she covered me in wasps.
Wasps.
Wasps. And said to my family that they had to complete a series of tasks, a series of elaborate tasks, exactly as the ghost demanded, or else all the wasps would sting me at once and I would die.
Terrifying.
That was the end of the dream.
What kind of tasks are we talking?
I don't know. It was very weird, like running through fields and collecting specific objects.
Oh.
Very outdoorsy based tasks.
Almost the kind you'd run into from an NPC in a JRPG of some kind.
Very similar.
As we know, JRPGs source their material heavily from dreams that they stole, another blatant dream crime.
Yes.
So hence the connection.
Yes.
Very much so. Very much so. Did you recognize the girl at all?
No.
And was the home that you are in, is this a childhood home?
It is.
And did you ever jump from the roof of that house? Spend any time on the roof of that house?
No.
I might, if I may interject, Pineapple.
Absolutely, please. What do you see in this dream?
Did you recognize the face of the little girl at all?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. This was a little stranger ghost.
Are you close with your family?
Yes.
I can tell because the little girl might represent something inside of you that you're trying to communicate to your parents. And by making them do the tasks, it might be some sort of acceptance of who you are or something in your life that you might be accomplishing right now. And the little ghost is like speaking from your voice, and there's going to be dire consequences, the wasps, if your family doesn't accept this thing in your life. Does that resonate at all?
That does resonate. Ouch. That resonates too much.
She's the best in the biz. She is the best at what she does.
Oh my
She
god.
is. She
Well,
very much is.
That's why you have me, Emily Pineapple, and I think it took this case to get us back on the same page.
I think so for sure.
Now, the real question at hand is, have you been a victim of a dream crime?
I think I see a very clear dream crime that happened.
Tell us, Pineapple.
I don't quite remember the name of this film. I believe it was The Candyman. An individual who was able to release wasps from his eyes. Or perhaps bees from his eyes.
I think it was bees and candy.
Yeah, bees. I found it really interesting that there were wasps. Wasps, of course, are related to bees, but they are the mean cousin, as they are recognized. You know, wasps don't appear to give anything back, but bees are necessary.
They're kind of the drunk uncle that you have to stay a weekend at against your will on a random summer.
Yep.
In your teens. That's kind of the wasp to bee correlation, in my opinion.
That's absolutely right, Andrew.
The writer of Candyman probably, toned down the wasps for an American audience.
Yeah.
Sugar coating, honey coating, as it were.
I believe so, but I also find it interesting that the thing that will destroy you is a dark mirror of something that is necessary for all life. I think that represents that the challenge that you're facing is two sides of the same coin. It's something that can turn deadly if the people around you don't recognize it and do something about it. But it is something that is necessary for existence. I don't know, I thought that was very interesting in your dream. And it made me think about the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, and I'm wondering if any of the current ecological rollbacks, I'm wondering about those. I'm wondering if perhaps someone may have seen your dream, or perhaps you were trying to hunt down someone in your dream, these tasks, to stop all of these devastating things that are happening to the environment right now. Do you care about the environment, Susie?
That's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question.
I would say yes, but wow. I'm just getting hit with a lot of hard feelings and a lot of hard questions.
Dream please.
Dream please.
It's not a yes and, it's a yes, but wow. That's our brand here at dreampolice.com.
Yep. I think that Molly is entirely right in the interpretation of your dream, that there is something that you need from your family, that if it is not completed, there is severe danger to you.
Well, and it could be, physical or mental, but mostly in dreams, when something physical happens, it's a reflective of the mental state. So, like, we knew it was your family because
you were with your family,
first of all, but it was also in your childhood family home, or a place that you spent a lot of time at as a child. And ghosts usually represent kind of like a piece of you or a part of you that is either hidden from people or is not a secret, but like just not
recognized necessarily.
Your body. Yep. So usually, yeah.
I found it interesting that the girl, and that you recognized in the dream, that the girl jumped off the roof of the house and should not have died because it is only one story, but somehow did. And that suggests to me that this issue, that this part of you that is hidden or not necessarily acknowledged or seen by others, that it's obvious. That it is obvious to you, that you're not sure why other people can't see it, and there isn't really a reason to you that that person should have died, that girl should not just be there to play her Saw game with your family.
And it also represents like a physical leap that you might have taken in your own development. And a child also usually represents like a very deep, sacred, like connected part of ourself, either from the past or it's most often from the past.
Or the future.
Or the future, but I mean like early in childhood.
Are these
Time
things
is a
that
cube.
Time is a cube indeed? Does any of this resonate?
This yes, it does. It all does. This is intense.
Channeling the harmonies of the dream world, Susie. It's all happening.
And knowing this about your dream, having heard this from Molly and I, does this suggest to you anything about your life moving forward? Or is there anything that you would want to take from now looking back at this dream to apply to your current conceptualization of your relationship with your family and your life?
Yeah, it definitely does. I think the idea that like something has to be completed for some kind of closure definitely like resonates, because that's been something, sort of a choice I've been having to make lately. So
yes, and also if your family doesn't accept you, you're a fucking ghost to them. Get a new family.
It's interesting that it was wasps, because there was a judge in Israel, and this is biblical, which means that it comes from the collective unconscious, which we all share and we can all dive deep into. This is a Jungian discovery. There was a judge in Israel called Devorah. That means bee, bumblebee, queen bee. But her detractors would call her the wasp. I think that this may be a key to the justice that we are seeking. I think that you may be a keystone in the discovery of dream crimes. You've clearly been visited. Within your dreams, there are representations of justice, of a judge. Someone who can look up these dream crimes, look at these dream criminals, and say to themselves, yes, a crime definitely occurred and punishment must be given. Or, no, there was no crime here, for I am a judge and I understand justice. Susie, do you feel like you have a developed sense of justice?
yes. It's a very personally developed sense of justice. But yes, I would say so.
I think that I would advise you to keep your eyes open in your dreams moving forward, and to call in to the dream police as much as possible, because I think that, Molly, I'm not sure if this is something that you recognize, or Andrew, if this is something that you recognize. This is something that you see in Susie's dream, and especially the wasp. I think that, Susie, that there is no correlation in the dream realm. Correlation does equal causation. and the visitation of bees, of wasps, of this sign of justice, of judge, and then you coming here to us today. We, of course, are the Dream Police. All we do is gather evidence, and then we present that evidence to judges.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
But I do, one second. I do think that there has not been a particular dream crime this time, but I think that Susie might benefit. Well, I mean, I'm not going to tell you what or not you're going to benefit from, but a rune reading.
Rune reading.
Yes. Would you like me to read your runes?
Yeah, yes, that'd be wonderful. Thank you.
I will absolutely do a rune pulling. I apologize. And in the meantime, I have a question for Molly, wherever she went, and Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
And for Susie. Something I'm curious about is these games, these tasks that this little girl was asking your family to do. If you could talk with Andrew and Molly about these tasks and about your favorite video game tasks.
Do you play video games?
I do play video games. I don't know. I think in video games, I'm a big fan of tasks where it's like, I don't know, I like the ones that are kind of silly or like very personal. Like I think the last game I played was the Spider-Man game on the PlayStation, so that's what I'm gonna pull from. There's like a mission where you just like collect pigeons for a guy. They're just his pigeons, and you know he asks for your help in collecting them.
That mission was actually stolen from someone's dream. A friend of mine from South Dakota had that dream about 20 so years ago, and they just right ahead and plagiarized it.
That's a dream crime.
That is a dream crime.
Did the Dream Police deal in dream plagiarism, or is that part of like the dream copyright legal system?
That's a great question.
That is a great question. Unfortunately, there are things in the dream realm that are like more lawless or less lawless than meat space. But I will say that we have had a few directors from the dream realm. And this is actually what we learned. If yourself in the dream realm is just you with a Z in front of your name.
Okay.
So we have a lot of like oh gosh, this is a hard one. Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan.
Dream criminal. He stole a lot of ideas from unsuspecting people.
That means Christopher Nolan's Inception is like the dream equivalent of If I Did It by O.J. Simpson.
That's 10,000% correct. And he still goes unpunished.
That was one of the crimes I tried to have the SFPD look into. That
And
they
if the
did
plot
not care
don't fit,
about.
you must have quit.
But I do have a reading for you, Susie.
Great.
All right. The first rune that I pulled, I did a 3-rune pull, which typically represents 3 stages of a journey: past, present, future, A to ego, super ego, Trinity style things. The first rune that I pulled was Hagalas, the wrath of nature, destruction and controlled crisis that leads to change.
Topical.
Yes. It represents uncontrolled forces, especially within the unconscious. There was definitely a crisis that occurred, a break that had to happen, that you had to recognize the change that had to happen. Trial and tempestuousness. You definitely had to undergo some sort of storm. But the next rune that I pulled, the present, after this crisis, Fehu, a abundance, financial strength, success and happiness, social success, and creation and destruction, the act of becoming. This crisis leads directly to a growing sense of success in your becoming, in your creation of yourself or something, and in your endeavors. The last rune that I pulled was Rythru. It represents a horse, it represents travel, and it represents a change, a travel, both in terms of like physicality and in lifestyle direction. A change of place or setting and seeing from a larger perspective, seeing the right move for you and acting upon it and finding a personal rhythm. I think that this pull shows us that there was a crisis in your unconscious, and that change that you had to make, this act of becoming and destruction, was one that led you to success, social success, greater connecting and abundance, and that you've seen and you see the right move to make for you in your life, and you are going to act upon it. You're on a journey right now, but it's a glorious one. Does that resonate with you at all, Susie?
It does.
Wonderful.
I'm very glad to have brought this to you and to see through these runes, and through your dream, the journey that you are on and how it is going to lead to your personal success, your discovery of your own rhythm, and your own personal power, acting upon that and dancing within the dance of life. I definitely want to encourage you to call in because you clearly have an elevated sense of justice and deep connection to your dreams. Thank you so much for calling in today.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. Are there any lingering questions or concerns that you have for us?
Yeah, I don't really like wasps very much. I didn't enjoy being covered in wasps. Does that count as a crime?
Well, it counts as an emotional crime from
Yes.
your family, because if we don't get on board with you, Susie, it's gonna feel like a lot of wasps stinging you, girl.
But I don't think that you have, based on your runes, while this is a fear of yours, this may represent, if anything, this feeling of uncontrolled forces, this crisis that you had, this thing following you, testing you, trialing you. It's interesting that Hagala specifically talks about testing and trials because that's what this ghost was asking your family to go through. Precisely. But I think that you should take comfort knowing that these trials are going to end successfully. But yes, a crime did occur against you, an emotional crime.
Good to know. Good to know.
All right. Lovely.
Thank you so
Right,
much,
that's it. Susie,
for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, and please call in again, and thank you so much for joining me today, Molly and Andrew, Time Child.
Of course. My pleasure.
I think we did a good job today uncovering some very strong dream crimes. Molly, is there anything you would like to say to anyone watching before we sign off for today?
Yes, I would, Emily Pineapple. Suck my dick, dream realm rules, bitch. And do dream drugs.
Suck her dick. Do dream drugs. What about you, Andrew? Do you have anything to say to anyone?
Yeah, if my pal Zami in the Dream Realm, Tommy in the Real World, if you still have my cat ears that I forgot at the club last night, if you could drop those off, it'd be really cool. Thanks.
Please, Tommy, drop those off. Thank you all so much for joining us today on Dream Police. Remember, keep an eye open in your dreams and let us know what happened, because this time, it's personal.